The focus of today's practice will be around the throat energy center, on neck and shoulders in particular, releasing any tensions that are there, opening this area. A little bit of opening the thymus gland that is located about here. Normally that thymus gland, that is also called a higher heart center, gets weaker and weaker as we get older. And the thymus gland is responsible for our self-healing capacity. And I wholeheartedly and thoroughly believe that if we focus energy into these areas, into these glands, then they will reawaken, then we can reactivate those areas. So find yourself a comfortable way to sit. You can sit on a chair, or you can sit slightly elevated so that your hips are slightly higher than your knees. And you can either sit in Sukhasana, or you can sit in Siddhasana, which means that is a heel to groin alignment. If you find that your knees are up here, then please do two things. Get yourself to sit a little higher so that you even out this alignment here. And also bring something to support your knees here on the side so that there is no pressure, so you can bring bolsters or blocks in. It is really important that when we go into these poses, even when it's just a simple sitting, that we are able to sit effortlessly. Because when we are able to sit effortlessly, the body starts trusting us. And then the body starts releasing. If we're forcing our body into certain positions where it doesn't feel comfortable, then the body is not going to trust us. The body is going to tense up, thinking, oh, I'm in danger here. So bring yourself into any posture we do today, into a position where you can be in comfort, where the sensation is a sensation that you can allow yourself to go with, rather than a sensation that feels so uncomfortable and you can't wait for it to be over. Okay, so enough talking. Take the flesh away from the sitting bones. Open the front of the body. And the easiest way to open the front of the body is by having the palms facing up. If you are sitting on a chair, make sure that the soles of the feet softly giving themselves to the ground. And then align the back of your head with your tailbone, tucking the chin in slightly, imagining this line being drawn up from the back of your head. And then just bring a smile from collarbone to collarbone so that this area between the shoulders gets wider. And then focus on the area of the throat. And imagine you have a wide, spacious, light blue color being inhaled into that throat region. And even though this is a small area compared to the rest of our body, just imagine that width in that area. Imagine that spaciousness. A spaciousness where the boundary between skin and outer space no longer matter. Keep breathing in that way, inhaling that spaciousness. In fact, allow that spaciousness to expand into your whole body, visualizing that blue color infusing your whole body to the skin and beyond. Inviting the teachings from your higher self into your being and opening yourself to receive. So just take a moment to reaffirm also to yourself with your own words, I am ready to hear and listen to my inner teacher and to my higher self, and open the channels of communication of what my higher self is communicating to me, and to truthfully look at any blocks that might be in the way of my communication with that which is bigger than me. So with that focus on the throat energy center, we are going to do the Brahmari practice, which is also called the bee's breath. So when we do this, you will possibly not hear me anymore. So we will do this 9 times, 9 hums. And the way you're going to do this, so don't block your ears yet, you're going to put the index finger just on the space where the eyebrows start. Maybe even a little closer. See what feels right for you, for your finger length, for your hand anatomy as well. So you're going to put 1 finger there, and then you're going to put 2 fingers very lightly on top of your eyes. So perhaps don't do that yet either, so you can still see the rest of the explanation. Very important, once you have put your arms up here, to really make sure you relax your shoulders, that you will still have this spaciousness in your shoulders, that your elbows remain heavy, rather than going up here and really tensing up there. So we want to remain wide and spacious in the shoulder region. We want to keep elongating the back of the neck. So index finger on the point of the eyebrows, 1 or 2 fingers very lightly onto the eyes, and then the thumbs can go and close the ears. And then we will go into our own rhythm with our breath and just hum on every out breath, listening to our own hum until you feel that sensation as if there was a bee whizzing around you with its own hum. So find your inner bee. And be brave, really allow that hum to come out. That vibration of the hum is going to clear things, not just in your throat. It's going to vibrate through your body and shake all the cells up so they can release what is no longer needed. So let's begin. Index finger on the forehead, 1 or 2 fingers very lightly onto the eyes, thumb onto the ears, deep inhale, and hum. Once you have done and finished your last hum, just sit for a moment, feeling into the sensations in your body. Feeling into that stillness after the hum, but also the resonance after the hum has faded. And then slowly and gently open your eyes, looking at your surroundings, feeling into that throat area. And then gently come out of this seated position if you are in a cross-legged position. If you are on a chair, then just gently stretch your legs out and start moving your toes, moving your ankles, circling your ankles inwards and outwards, wriggling your toes. And you can take your hands behind you to give yourself more uprightness as you're doing this, lengthening the back of the neck, relaxing the shoulders, broadness in the shoulders. And just inhale, inhaling that wide blue sky into your body as you are breathing that spaciousness into your toes, into the joints in the toes, into the joints in your ankles. Move with the spacious intention. A sky so clear you can see into the distance, you can see widely, you can see openly. Okay. And then shake your leg out, shake your foot out, one side at a time. And then the other side. One side will shake much easier than the other. Okay. And then come onto all fours. So taking the hands underneath the shoulders, taking the knees underneath the hips. And then start moving with your spine, doing any movements that your spine might need right now. Maybe you want to snake from side to side. Maybe you want to circle your hips. And again, bringing that feeling of spaciousness into all those vertebrae in your spine that you are moving right now. So you are in your lumbar region of the spine right now, moving just in your hips. Moving from your waist. And then stretching the hips one way. So this kind of movement. And then stretching the hips the other way. So that you feel a slight stretch there on the side of the body, opening these areas, breathing into these areas. Make your breath really spacious, really wide. And then do the same with your middle spine. See what you can do with the thoracic spine. Moving there, opening up the channels. So your spine is a channel for communication that communicates to the rest of the body. So if the spine is open and can transmit the flow, then the rest of your body, all the cells will be communicated to. So let's open that channel. Let's stretch and bring flow to these areas in the middle of the chest. Be playful and listen. Where does my spine flow smoothly? Where is my spine able to move gently and softly and openly? Where might there be anything that is stuck? If you identify any areas where there is any stuckness, then go into that area, breathe into it, just stretch into that for a moment. And then the same with the neck region. Let the head hang for a moment, let the head dangle. Let the shoulders move a little. And then bring the chin forward, stretching the chin forward so you stretch the underside of your throat. And then letting the head dangle again. And then do this movement, the hill and the valley, or the cat and cow, with your whole spine. And see if you can start this movement and initiate it from a movement coming from your tailbone. And look as well at your contact between the hands and the ground. Are the hands softly meeting the ground? How are your wrists? Do you need to do any movements on top of your wrists just to release your wrists? Maybe you want to circle a little on the wrists and then resume the hill and valley position. Tucking under the hips, slowly allowing the spacious movement to travel up through the spine until the head dangles down, really stretching here, and then with the start of the inhale, gradually moving the tailbone up and translating that movement to the top, to the neck region, taking the chin forward. So don't take the head too high, just taking the chin forward and stretching that area will do. And then we will come into downward dog, but we will start into the downward dog from a slightly different angle than we normally do. So we're going to start from into a child pose from a different position. So if you have any book or a block or something, just so that you can give yourself some height. If it's a book of this size, then maybe you need two, but make sure both sides are roughly the same height. And then you place your hands on those blocks or on those books. It can also be blankets that are stacked up. So anything will do for now. Obviously something that has a bit of more resistance, like a book or a block, would be better. And then put your hands onto those blocks that are shoulder wide or wider, and then stretch yourself away from there and let your head come down to the ground, seeing the openness in the shoulder region, allowing your head to drop to the ground. And here it is more about the stretching away from those blocks and then letting the head drop. If you are really open in your shoulder region, you might need to take the resistance that you have here or the blocks a little higher. It might even be that you need them really high so that you can get into that stretch. So find that stretch that is right for you. If you do not have blocks or books or anything available, you can also do this to a chair. So if you find yourself a chair, just putting your hands on and then stretch away from there, letting your head drop in front of the chair. This is option number 2, to a chair like this. Or if that is also not an option, you can even take your kitchen counter and do this in a standing way like this, with the knees slightly bent, the back straight, And just allowing that chest to open and drop, allowing the head to drop. So here are your several options to accommodate you, whichever space you are doing this in. And then we are going to go from here into downward dog, which is one of the main positions that activates the throat, but also a little bit the sacral energy center. So you get a 2-in-1 for this one. So if you take your knees further back so that the distance between the hands and the knees is a little larger than the distance between the hips and the shoulders. Broad your shoulders, take the shoulders away from the ears. Tuck your toes under, and you have your hands slightly elevated here. It gives you a slightly different angle. So you can use your books, you can even still do it to a chair like I was demonstrating earlier. So see what works for you. Tucking the toes under, taking the tailbone up, pulling the belly in and up to give the lower spine some stability. And then imagine a diagonal line that is drawn backwards here, where you see from the hands to the shoulders and beyond, and that you are extending the hips away along that line, away from the hands. So you're not up here. The shoulders need to go as far back as possible. And if you find your lower back is slightly rounding and feeling uncomfortable there, then relax your knees a little more, bend your knees until you are able to come to a position where you can have your back straight. Once your back is straight, then you can start to extend the knees just a little more, but only as far as the back remains straight. So that might be a different position for everybody. Some people have the knees bent here, some people have the knees here, and some people will have completely straight legs. And it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you remember to keep your spine straight so the channel of the spine is open, and then let your head relax and breathe. Breathing into that throat energy center. Really let that head dangle down, spaciousness in your shoulders, the inner elbows slightly rotating outwards to the front, if you can. And breathe deeply. Stay in the posture for as long as feels right. So if you need to leave earlier, then do. If you wish, and if that is good for your back, you can take one leg up, stretch that leg up, and then take the other leg up. You can take one hip up at a time by lifting the heels. And that's how you bring some more spaciousness into your lower hips and into the lower spine. And then come to stillness again. If you need to take a break in between, you can come to child pose again. And this is what I am going to do now, but if this posture still feels right for you, please stay with it. So tucking the toes under to come to child pose, taking the knees slightly wider apart. And now you can choose if you want to just come to a classic child pose, taking your hands to the ground, or if you would still like to remain on the lift. I find being on that lift really helpful because it really opens up this chest area here. So opens up the heart center and allows you to broaden your shoulders. It might be that you need to release a little out of the elbows. So if your elbows feel tight at all, please listen and respond to that, taking the hands in like this and out, creating flow again, enabling that communication, and then come back to the practice whenever. And then we're going to, after we've had a moment in child pose, come up to standing. The throat energy center is also about our standpoint in life, being able to communicate your view, your standpoint with the calm, kind clarity. So that needs to start from the feet. So allow your feet to calmly and kindly soften themselves to the ground. And then just visualize that channel coming up through your legs. Have your knees soft. Your hips are gently dropping. Uprightness in the upper body. Lifting the solar plexus, relaxing the shoulders, lengthening the back of the neck. Playful in the toes to broaden your stance. And then just softening down to earth. So the balance between the uprightness and the softening to earth. Visualizing your roots going into earth. Are your hands relaxed? Are your shoulders relaxed? Is the front of your body open? Is the back relaxed? And then let the head drop down. And feel that stretch on the back of the neck. And imagine that on the crown of your head there is a line or a weather vane that is lengthening the crown of the head away from the neck. So you're also from the head slightly pulled forward. And just feel the shoulders relaxing down a little more. Imagine that somebody, and maybe you can do it for yourself, is just coming and lengthening that area slightly. I hope you can see that. So here like this. As you are relaxing down. And you can just imagine these hands lengthening that area. And then if your body invites you to, you can do small movements. Just taking your head a little bit from side to side. If you feel like you want to just be still with that stretch, listen to that. And again, breathing spaciousness, breathing that light blue color into that throat area. Is the rest of your body still soft and open? Just keep checking in with the rest of your body from time to time. Are the soles still softening into the ground? Are the shoulders relaxed? Are the hands relaxed? And let the head now do a figure of 8 that gets bigger from side to side, as if you were drawing a figure of 8 in front of you with the crown of your head. Let that figure of 8 get wider and wider, feeling the stretches that you feel along the way. And listening in, are there any areas where you feel tightness as you do this? And if there are any areas where you feel tightness, just stay there for a moment. Breathe into that space and then resume the movement. And maybe then you identify a different area when the head is in that position, and just breathe into that. Just opening up those channels, bringing spaciousness into your being. So taking a moment to stop and breathe, and then resuming. And then at some point allow your head to just go from side to side with chin tucked in, but the head upright, just going from right to left. Looking over one shoulder And in particular, relaxing the opposite shoulder to the ground, the hands heavy, the knees relaxed, elbows heavy, shoulders wide open, and letting go, releasing down. And listen to your breath. Allow the head to look down. Feel how the stretch is changing, the opposite shoulder releasing. And then take a yawn. 1 or 2 yawns, really deep and heartfelt. Make your mouth really wide as you're doing it. And see how that stretch changes as you do this. Breathe into it after you have yawned one more time. Bring your head back to the upright position. Loosen a little bit. And then come back to the side-to-side movement. And then stay over the other side, tucking the chin in, lengthening the back of the neck. Allowing the shoulders to drop. Feeling that wide, spacious breath in your whole body. Then looking down, feeling that stretch sensation in the neck change slightly. Breathing into wherever you are feeling it now. And then yawn. And then take a moment to feel what has changed after the yawn. And again come back to the uprightness, going from side to side, just releasing, letting go, feeling what is needed. Maybe the shoulders want to move forward, maybe the shoulders want to move backwards. Take a moment to open maybe both shoulders and arms. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And just stand there and feel into the space. Okay. We are now going to do an opening Bodhma practice for the shoulders. That is also about viewing a point of view from both sides. So allow your hands to extend into space. So imagining threads coming from each one of your fingers and your hand totally aligned, so the thumb is not sticking out, the whole hand is aligned, there is no rigidity, there is just that gentle pull coming from space. And those threads that are on each one of your fingers are magic threads that make you feel whatever your fingers are pointing at. And those magic threads, so now you feel the ground that is beyond your fingertips. Those threads are moved by puppeteers from space until your arms are shoulder level. Checking on yourself, are my hands on one level? Are my arms aligned? Are my hands relaxed or are my hands rigid? And can I have this elongation in a soft, gentle, extended way? Then turn the palms up, feeling what is beyond your head. If you are in this position, feeling the ceiling, So the ceiling is quite low where you are. You can also come onto your knees and do this like that. Broadness in the shoulders. So I will do this for a moment just to make it clearer for you so that I can come closer to the camera. So here you feel a spaciousness between your arms, but your shoulders are relaxed. So your shoulders are not up here, the shoulders are relaxed, but the arms are long. And there is like a magnetism between the hands here, a spaciousness. It's like a communication between the palms. And then your right palm will go back. So this way, both palms facing the same way. And then you start going down, looking at one side with both palms, making sure your front arm and back arm are fully aligned, still feeling that pull from the periphery. And here again that magic moment where the palms face, but this time through the body, connection with matter. And then the opposite hand will go back, opening into the space. Remember, you don't have to do this on your knees. You can do this standing up if you have the space to do so. And then here you have that meeting point again. Check the shoulders and then continue the open movement. Coming back, opening, meeting, and opening again. One more to the side, extending into space, feeling that spaciousness flowing from fingertips to fingertips, from the right to the left. Palms communicating to each other what they've seen in the realm above, and hands communicating to each other what they've seen in the realm below. Here's the meeting point. This time we take the left hand back, opening to the back, both palms facing the left. Meeting, both palms facing the right. One hand in the future, one hand in the past. And we remain central. We remained aligned in the middle. And keep going with that circle. As if you had a coin going through your center and you're feeling it on one side, feeling one side, and then feeling that coin on the other side. Just feeling the circumference of that coin. And occasionally just checking, are my arms aligned? And that in particular for your back hand, because it's much harder to feel the space behind us. So just looking occasionally, seeing, is my perception the same as what is actually happening in reality? Checking on yourself truthfully and honestly. And then coming back to the middle, opening, turning the palms, and coming down, and just feeling into that space between the shoulders for a moment again. Now, take your hands together, draw the shoulder blades apart, and let your head drop. And take those hands a little higher, a little lower, just feeling into the spaces. So here we are stretching our trapezius, the lower trapezius, the middle trapezius, the upper trapezius. See what it is that your body needs most right now and stay there. So for me, it feels nicer to have my hands a little higher than my shoulder, which reaches the lower aspect of the trapezius here, but that might be different for you. And then hug your body like this. Come round as far as that is comfortable for you. Let your head drop. Take your elbows a little higher. So have the elbows on shoulder level, but shoulders down. And then drawing the shoulder blades apart. And maybe your body wants to do some movements here. Go with that. And then change around. Take the other elbow on top, drawing the shoulder blades apart. Relaxing the shoulders down, broadness in the shoulders. And then stretching the rhomboids, the muscles that are in between the shoulder blades and the spine. Your angel wings. And then relaxing the shoulders, shaking out, shaking the legs, shaking the hips, shaking the whole body. And we'll go into a balancing posture before we go back down to the ground. So I have chosen a posture that will also stretch the outer thighs this time. So you are going to put your whole weight onto your right foot. So you are basically mirroring me now. Spreading the toes on that foot that is on the ground. The other foot is still there for a bit of stability, but is only very lightly touching the ground, just as per your needs. And then when you feel that you are fully grounded, you pull your belly in and up, you engage your pelvic floor, you take one foot, so the ankle sideways on top of the lower front thigh, and then let your body sit back as if there was a chair behind you. And if that helps, you can actually put a chair there and try and reach it. And then you can take your hands together, or you can have your hands like this, as if they are resting on space, as if you had invisible pillars next to you that you're resting your hands on. That sometimes helps. Keep the front of the body lifted, extend through the crown, feel lifted through the crown. So the hands either here or there. And then go as low as that feels comfortable, down as if you're sitting on a chair. So the knee doesn't go much beyond the ankle here. It's more about sitting back than coming forward. And keep checking, are my feet softening into the ground? And feeling a sensation on the outer thigh. That's what we're going for. But you might feel a burning in the thigh you're standing on. So breathe that heat into your solar plexus. And come back up. Shake that out. In fact, that leg that we were standing on, we are going to take upright now and push the hips forward so you feel a stretch in the front thigh. And come back to standing and just feel into that for a moment. Feel how the two sides of your body feel different right now. And then take your whole weight onto the other foot. Allowing the roots to soften into the ground. Engage the pelvic floor, pull the belly in and up, upright, the whole front of the body, relax your shoulders. When you feel you have your balance and you have that thread beyond the crown, lengthening you upwards, then you take the free leg with the ankle on the bottom, so near the knee, just above the knee, place it there. Take your hands either here into Atmanjali Mudra or into the space, and then sit down, softening your foot more and more into the ground as you do this. Elongate your toes to broad your base. Feel the heels widening, feel the arch. Upright your body as much as possible and sit down low. until you feel the stretch on the outer thigh. Allow your forehead to relax, allow your jaws to relax. Breathe deeply. Slowly come up and stretch the leg you were standing on, the front thigh. Push the hips forward, feeling that stretch along the front thigh. And if you're not feeling that, you might need to take your hips slightly more forward. So it's that action, that tucking under of the tailbone, and then the knees aligning with each other. And then you should really feel it in the front thigh. Okay. Shaking that out again, shaking your hips, shaking your shoulders, shaking your hands. And then we're going to come back down to the ground. So lie down on your back for a moment, stretching your legs out like this. And then coming and lying down. You don't need anything under your head for now. And just let the toes roll out to the side. Let your legs be slightly apart. Let your palms face up. Spaciousness between the shoulders and the ears. So stretch your fingertips away from the shoulders. And just lay there for a moment, feeling into your body. How does your body feel right now? Bringing your perception in to look honestly, truthfully at any sensation that is present right now. And then visualizing that light blue, spacious, white sky into your body here. Then bend your legs, one at a time, and really ground your feet into earth. Let your feet be roughly hip-width apart, and just soften your feet into the ground for now. See how that changes the connection between your spine, between your back and the ground. And then slowly start rolling your hips. So tucking the hips under and back out again. And as you tuck under, engage the pelvic floor. So remember when I explain about the inside of the pelvis being like a basket, woven into each other. So your pelvic floor is that lining, that inner lining of the basket, that inner lining of the pelvis. So see how many muscles you can actually take your perception and awareness in to feel as you engage your pelvic floor on the out breath whilst tucking under your tailbone, and then release again. And then gradually start lifting with that. So you breathe out, tuck under, engage pelvic floor, lift, and then slowly unrolling your spine towards the ground again, relax. Breathe out, engage pelvic floor, tuck under, lift, a little higher every time. Inhale, slowly releasing the spine one vertebra at a time to the ground. And come higher and higher with that movement. And that point where you inhale and slowly release down again, take your time as you touch one vertebra at a time back to the ground. Be really conscious of that one vertebra at a time connection. Really honest and truthful with that. See which muscles work to enable you to do this. Ankles, And feel that. And feel that throat space getting a little bit constricted as the chest approaches the chin. And in fact, slightly puff up your chest towards your chin. And then move your shoulders under a little more. You can have your palms facing the ground at this point or still open, whatever feels better for you. Keep the pelvic floor engaged. Keep breathing and feel the back side of your legs working. But don't clench the buttock cheeks together. Keep the buttock cheeks relaxed but engaged. Keep the toes broad and spacious, extending into space. Feel your body working. Lift your hips so that you feel a stretch on the hip flexor there. And breathe into the throat region. Breathe deeply. And then gradually, very slowly, one vertebra at a time, start releasing down, breathing smoothly, inhaling, exhaling as you come down, one vertebra at a time. Take your time. Keep the feet connection on the ground soft. Feel your shoulders coming back out again as you're coming down. Note the point where that happens. And let that time that you take to descend be really precious. Take your time, very gently, very softly, retouch back to the ground. Allowing the hips to settle on the ground, and then stretching the legs back out. And then feel back into the throat region. See what has changed. Create spaciousness between shoulders and ears. Take the palms out again. And just feeling into that throat space. And then see what your neck region needs right now. You might need to move your head a little from side to side, rolling a bit from side to side. Maybe you want to go up and down a little. Listen, openly respond. So often when the throat region is blocked, that is because we repress things inside. And that can also, that repression of things, feelings, thoughts we have inside that we're not communicating to others, that we're maybe not even communicating to ourselves, can lead to blockages and tensions in the shoulders and in the neck region. So as you move the head from side to side or up and down and listen, just see where is the tightness, breathe spaciousness. And when you breathe spaciousness into those areas, then those blockages and the sources of the blockages on a mental, emotional level might reveal themselves. Maybe little images come up, or little voices, maybe things you've been angry about that you've not been telling anybody, things that have saddened you, that you felt afraid to communicate. And maybe it's not appropriate to communicate everything to others, but what you need to do is communicate it to yourself. Be aware that this is what is going on for you. You listen to you. And if you are lucky enough to have a friend or a confidant or someone in your life, make a mental note to just talk to them openly, kindly, just expressing how you feel without blame. And then at some point, just settle in to this. Maybe you can take half a pillow behind your head, lifting the back of your neck, or half a block. I am going to sit, but you can continue lying down. You can take a blanket if you need to. And just allow your head to gradually come into stillness. There is a bija mantra syllable that corresponds to the throat energy center. And that bija mantra is hum. So if that feels right for you, in a moment, you can just chant that. But internally already, every time you inhale, you could visualize the sound so, and every time you breathe out, visualize the sound hum. And let that hum be really relaxing, flowing your body into the ground, softening your body into the ground. A releasing, letting go. Softening your toes, your heels, your calves and shins. Breathing in, inhaling that sky blue color as if you were inhaling the sky on a sunny day, like today actually, into your being. So inhaling that spacious width from toes through ankles, calves and shins to your knees. And let the boundaries between your body and the space beyond be quite open. So imagine that sky flowing through you and beyond you, and from beyond you through into the deepest core. As you extend that awareness into your thighs, your hips, your pelvis, just feel that airy, infinite endlessness, spaciousness of the sky enter your trunk, your inner organs. Inhaling so, exhaling hum into your shoulders, the neck region, arms, elbows, into the hands, the tips of the hands, the fingertips, into your neck, spaciousness in your neck, into your head, spaciousness in your brain, in your eyes, in your jaws. A mental note to relax the jaws fully, let the tongue become heavy. And feel your body fully releasing to the ground with that hum out breath. And if you wish, you can actually voice that hum. So you think the so, you voice the hum. So, hum. Releasing the body into the ground fully. Releasing, becoming heavy to earth. Let the weight of your bones trust themselves to earth. As you inhale the spaciousness, the lightness, the openness into your being. Clearing the channel between your physical body and the breath, between the breath and the thoughts, between the thoughts and the emotions. Just imagine that sky flowing through from the body to the breath, to the thoughts, to the feelings, and then to that higher self, that being that is within you and beyond you, that being that is always there, always observing, lovingly, kindly, watching over you, being with you. That inner voice that we sometimes talks to us, sometimes we hear it and we listen, sometimes we hear it and we don't. So take that spacious blue sky into that space beyond the crown, opening that channel too, allowing that flow. Allowing yourself to listen to what is present at this moment in time. And in a way that doesn't judge, in a way that is open. And bring that emphasis, that source of that blue-white sky to start in the area just above the heart, location of the thymus gland, just above the heart. Allow that blue sky to stream out from there, like smoke machines on a stage, and the smoke just slowly and gradually travels into the periphery. So allow that blue sky to emanate from there, bringing clarity into your whole body and all that is beyond your body. Just openly listening, just allowing it to unfold, allowing it to infuse, allowing yourself and your being to merge with that sky, endless, wide, infinite, timeless. So hum. And allow that blue sky to merge with the sound I am about to make. Allowing the vibration of the sound to bring more space to your awareness and perception. Finding that peace with everything that reveals itself physically, in thought, in feeling, and maybe even in higher guidance. What is arising for you? When the sound fades, listening to everything that is present in your outer environment. Make your ears wide and spacious. Any sound, be that a car or a bird, a person, or just space sounding. Just allowing all those sounds to come into one concert, merging with that inner stillness. Allowing everything to be as it comes, as it goes. No judgment, just allowing the sounds. And maybe you are gradually hearing more and more. In a moment, I will close with the mantra, but you can continue lying there with that listening meditation for as long as that feels right. Pratasmarami hridima puradatmatattvam Sachitsukam paramaham zagatim turiyam Yat swapna jagara sushuptam avaiti nityam Tat brahma nishkalamaham nasabhuta sangaha Pratarbhajami manasa vachasamagam Vacho vibhanti nikilaya danugrahena Yanniti neti vachanau nigama avuchuhu Tam deva deva majamachutamaghuragryam Pratarbhajami manasa vachasamagamyam Vacho vibhanti nikilaya danugrahena Yanniti neti vachanau nigama avochuhu Tam deva deva majamachutamaghuragryam Pratarnamami tamasaf paramarkavarnam Purnam sanatana padam purushottamakhiyam Yasmin nigdam jagadasheshamasheshamurtau Rajvam bhujangamaiva pratibhasitam vai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste, with love and blessings.